Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing NAD's Master Series, their M28 7-channel power amplifier. This mighty beast of a power amplifier highlights just how poorly so many other amplifiers perform, and so how so many are overrated and overspec'd and delivered so little. This one box will deliver 200 watts a channel into a stable 8 ohm load, 340 watts a channel into 4 ohms. It's staggering, massive dampening factor, total harmonic distortion of like 0.001%. This thing is silent in its operation, mighty in the amount of control and power that it will deliver cleanly to speakers at any moment in time. NAD has for generations quoted their amplification stages based on full disclosure. So if all channels are being driven at the same time, what is the wattage that it can deliver? Unlike one channel or two channels, it's all of them delivering all of their rated wattage at all the time. And that's why it delivers so much more control, so much more power than normal. Anyway, let's have a look. Master Series come in a freight carton, a very, very muted freight carton, model and serial number information on both ends, a freight sticker on the top, and NAD Master Series logos. Opening these kinds of cartons is relatively straightforward. Like most things in New Zealand, chances are this has been opened by the distributor and then a New Zealand power cord put in. But it is exactly as you would see it as it would arrive in your home. Getting rid of the freight carton's pretty straightforward. They're an exact kind of match, so there's often a little air vacuum. Get rid of that. And roll it over, and we'll reveal that the top has been sliced open for the power cords. So the next step is very, very easy. So tearing that plastic protection off. Having a look for the first time at the inner carton. This is where the box becomes a little bit less subtle and the printing a lot more bold as far as its Master Series and its logo and information. Again, emulation of scannable barcodes and Master Series on all sides. Opening this part, again, really, really easy because it's just clear packing tape. A few nicks and we're in. The top of it is quite muted and gives you no sort of illusion as to what's going on inside. So we'll take that first layer off. The first thing you'll see is that in the Master Series, NAD has invested heavily in renewable resources. These are compostable and recycled cardboard packaging. They're looking at what happens tomorrow with their packaging. And worst case scenario, this will decompose in landfill. Best case, it can be fully recycled. To complement that formed cardboard lid, there are 4 corners of stiffened cardboard. This protects the corners, and should the worst happen in transit, it's very, very unlikely to sustain any damage. So great to see that they've added that additional protection. And of course we've got the first accessory box. In that box we've got a basic setup guide as far as how to plug the NAD power amplifier in. Okay, nice and simple. There's a couple of safety and important information and a warranty card as far as how to get in touch. There's a cool little cleaning cloth because all of the Master Series is that beautiful extruded aluminium, so they have a little microfiber polishing cloth to keep it in good condition. Like many Master Series power amps, they also include an earth strap. When you've got a relatively, look, the earth strap ensures that there's a virtual elimination of the potential of any hum associated with power amplifiers and other things that might be connected to it. There's some additional packaging which helps support 4 of these really cool protective caps. Now, the Master Series have milled spikes. Now, those spikes help to isolate the product. You can actually adjust them and level them. It stops electrical resonation, chassis resonation, keeps it very rigid, looks beautiful. These are magnetic and stick on underneath and ensure that should it be on a surface that could be scratched, it will protect it brilliantly. And there's a nice little soft pad underneath. Now, the amplifier is part of NAD's hybrid amplification, so it's relatively light. A 7-channel 200 watt amplifier in a traditional design would be monstrously heavy. These are relatively manageable at about 14 kilos. The hybrid design means that you get all of the benefits and nuances associated with small Class A amplification, and then direct digital injection of current and voltage as it's required. Brilliantly efficient, and it also means that you have all of the advantages of very high dampening factors and very high amounts of control that can be exerted at a moment's notice into any speaker load. Looking in, we see a couple of desiccant bags and a separate accessory pack. Now, it's in this pack that is the power cord. Now, normally there would be a couple for overseas countries, 2 or 3 at least. But what's happened in New Zealand is that those others have been discarded, and what we have is a traditional IEC 3-pin earthed power cord and some empty cardboard fillers where the other ones would have been. Right. The Master Series power amps are then protected by this beautiful sort of soft bag. It's a little drawstring bag, and it's a nice sense of elegance. Getting the amplifier out of the bag is relatively straightforward. You should take care though, because it's important to remember the spiked feet and what they will do to the surface you put them on if you don't handle it correctly. So, let's have a look for a moment. Being a power amp, it's relatively muted from a design perspective. As with all of the Master Series, you have the on and off and a little touch-sensitive switch in the top. Tapping it and it clicks on. Pushing and holding for a couple of seconds and it will turn itself back off. Underneath it we have its model, the M28. We have the modular design construction logo and a 7-channel power amp delineation. We see the NAD Master Series logo, and this glows in different colours: orange when starting up, red if there's a problem, and then sort of a white illumination for normal operation. Other than that, there's not much else on the front. I'll draw your attention though to the beautiful styling of the 2-tone finish that they have, and as I tilt it forward you'll see more of that. This beautiful design adds obviously the ventilation required, but a real sense of elegance, and with that the design care that the NAD team have added. Every nut, bolt and screw is beautifully fitted, and it's a work of art. As always, please hang around for some photographs. I'll take some close-ups of some of these things because they are truly lovely. Looking around you'll see it's not very deep and there's a little bit of ventilation on the side. Tilting it, and again hopefully the light catches it, you'll see a series of these modular cards associated with the amplification stages and a central power supply to feed those amplification stages. Looking at the back you get a hint really of how universal this product is. It's somewhat modular in its build, and you can see that with these sort of separate, almost cards as far as its design goes. We see both single-ended and balanced inputs for each channel, with an input and output delineated to the numbered amplification stages. Below the single-ended RCA, which by the way is a beautiful milled quality RCA, is a switch enabling you to select between the balanced input and the single-ended RCA. Just to one side there's a tiny little LED, and that illuminates when it has gone into protection, enabling you to highlight which amplification stage is having a problem and identify the speaker, the cable, or what the cause could be. Obviously there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these channels. and some are they're discreetly screen printed just above with numbers and other things to help with cabling in and out of the unit. The amplification, I mean, you could buy amp and buy wire using Y splits and other things like that, relatively straightforward, and add a tremendous amount of power and control if you're only using this in a 5-speaker situation. The boring bits over this side, we've got a ground, we've got the power input, a fuse, and a good quality rocker switch for power. So, there we have it. NAD Master Series M28. 7-channel power amp, 200 watts a channel, all channels different, full disclosure policy, stunning amount of power, almost immeasurably low total harmonic distortion, and I'm very proud to have shared this with you today, here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.